everyone, it's Elizabeth Houston from Elvis Astrology at elvisastrology.com. Thanks for joining me today. I continue on with my series of videos, and today I'm going to talk about November 2017. I've identified two themes for this month of November, and approximately the first 3 weeks is going to be a Scorpio vibe, followed by a Sagittarius vibe in the following week, kind of from Thanksgiving, literally Thanksgiving onwards. So the first part of this month is going to be a little bit deep and could be trying. A lot of things are going to be bubbling up to the surface inside each of us, and we're going to be looking at ourselves. We're going to be looking at what we have in our lives, what is surrounding us, what we've been collecting, what we've been, putting in our life that we thought was important. And a lot of us are going to say, I don't like this, I don't like that. This no longer represents the authentic me. And in particular, I value myself differently. And perhaps you're going to find also that the people that you're with, whether it's work, romance, or otherwise, don't value you. And you start standing up for yourself and rightfully take hold of your life and start expressing your authentic self. So don't be afraid of these feelings that start coming up, because some of them are going to be quite intense. That's what Scorpio is. So the effect is this way. Jupiter is kind of like a big light, and it is now in ostensibly one of the darkest signs, Scorpio, because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, which is all about transformation, and it's the underworld, the lord of the underworld. So this could be a very productive time to get things out in the open, whatever it is. It probably will tie back to relationships of some sort. And this is kind of like the grand finale, essentially, for this year. And it could be dramatic too. You could definitely have drama happening in your life, either welcome or unwelcome. I would say stay with the course and know what's coming up or coming towards you, say in other people. You are supposed to be dealing with this, and it means probably that you've not been dealing with certain things. A lot of meditating obviously is going to help getting into nature, and please do actively do that. If you do yoga, that's fantastic. If you don't, consider taking it up. Read some inspiring books, listen to some inspiring people, and really pay attention to valuing yourself, and pay attention to what you've been accumulating in your life, and ask yourself, do I really need this? And so that runs across everything: people, things, animals, clothes. Because the final week of the month, and it does start on Thanksgiving's Day, basically, the 23rd of November, is when the sun goes into Sagittarius. And we are going to all have these signposts and paths opening up for us that clearly spell where we're supposed to be going. So know that that is ahead. Vision boards are great. Even if you haven't done one and it's almost to the end of the year, that's fine. You can do another one. You could even revise a vision board that you created, say, in January, that now doesn't truly represent, especially your authentic self and how you value yourself. Certainly things in the news and that have been coming up, and light brought to deep recesses and dark corners of Hollywood is only the tip of the icebergs, folks. You can bet that there's going to be a lot of that. Anything dark, dank, that's been hidden for a long time, that should be brought to the surface. All this year, Jupiter will be in Scorpio, so that'll be up until next November 2018. So there's going to be a lot of stuff brought up. And do take care when people maybe don't feel as enthusiastic as you about exposing what's gone on. Folks have their own sense of timing. Some of these things are pretty dramatic and very deep and very hurtful. So be very respectful of anyone that has gone through something very difficult that involved some kind of exchange of power where they were powerless. So let's just go through some of the things that are going to be happening this month in terms of the planets. Where are they? Well, we have Venus opposite Uranus right now, actually, at this full moon in Taurus. So I'm doing this on the full moon of Taurus. And we've got many planets in Scorpio right now. And, you know, this also creates a very deep, sort of sexy, passionate type feeling too. So for those really into their emotions, this could be a very passionate time. You know, babies could be created. Great loves could enter your lives and start developing. But then you also have that other side of Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto, and that's kind of the possessive or obsessive type thing. So, and you can have these things done to you as well as you doing them to others. So just be aware there's always two sides, especially when it comes to Pluto. But Pluto wants to transform. So when we look at Pluto joining hands with Jupiter in Scorpio, they really just want to help shine the light on transformation. Let's make you the best you can be. Let's show your best authentic self. That's the action really essentially underpinning this Jupiter in Scorpio. Probably the most significant thing that's happening this month is that there's a new moon in Scorpio at 28 degrees 19 minutes on the 18th of November 2017. This is basically, you know, a recalibration or a reset for Scorpio. So all Scorpios, Scorpio sun sign, Scorpio ascendant, and to some extent the moon. I tend to though just stick with the sun and the ascendant. But this is a reset. So this effect of Jupiter in Scorpio happens approximately every 12 or 13 years. So you could, you know, look back to see what was happening in your life, say around 2005. But this new moon in Scorpio is a complete reset for you guys. It will also affect the opposite sign of Taurus. So Taurus can also expect some changes. It might come though through other people, like other people making some kind of transformational change that the Taurians have to adjust to. It doesn't mean that it's going to be negative. But Scorpios, I would love to hear from you over the next few months. Let me know what new things open up for you, because this is a great time. And I think Scorpios, I think all the water signs have had a tough time over the past few years. So this is a sense of relief that's coming in. So I'm excited about it. I've got a lot of my planets in Scorpio. I am Sagittarius by sun sign, but I've got a lot of Scorpio. So this lights up my fifth house. So creativity is certainly something I'm totally into. You know, it's funny, I live in San Diego, as most of you who watch me know, and I decided, well, wouldn't it be kind of fun to take a look at somebody who's kind of famous, that lives in or was born in San Diego, that's a Scorpio. And I just did a quick search, and I found that Kris Jenner, you know, of Kardashian fame, was born here in San Diego on the 5th of November, 1955. And of course, so she's being dramatically affected by this full moon that's in her opposite sign, which is Taurus. So it'll be interesting to see what things end for her, but more importantly to see what exciting new things she's got that are going to be starting around this new moon in Scorpio at 28 degrees on the 18th of November. She in particular is going to have some significant new things happen, like a whole new Kris. Even up until this last short while, maybe the past weeks, she's still going to show something new. She's going to transform herself. And I looked at her chart, and I just got the feeling that there's going to be a spiritual connection here where she may start showing a different side that is more spiritual. Certainly from her chart, she's got very deep, intense, powerful potential in her to earn money, no question of it. But she may have some kind of epiphany where, and I'm not saying she isn't doing this already, but she truly, you know, takes her money and puts it into some kind of spiritual undertaking that actually makes a huge difference. She may actually do this with her daughter, Kendall, who is also a Scorpio. So I'm not going to dwell too much on that. That's not the purpose of this video, but I thought it was interesting, and good luck to her and to Kendall. They've got lots of exciting things, especially coming up after that new moon in Scorpio. All right, the other thing we have is Saturn trining Uranus, and it's for the third time. May was the second time. So on the 11th of November this year, this trines are very positive, so it's fairly easygoing energy, and it's not like a blockage. So this is all about Uranus, 7 bolts of lightning, enlightenment itself. It's trying to enlighten all of us and to break us out of our Saturnian way of thinking, the square way of thinking, to just let some of those rules and regulations that do not any longer apply. We need to let them go, but we need to let them go in such a way that it's enlightening and that it inspires us. So that's another word to keep in mind when we're talking about Uranus, is inspiration. So I think that this third and final time of Saturn trining Uranus, we are actually going to be finding shattering of rules and regulation regarding truly pushing through to the spiritual side and receiving these awesome spiritual things from Source, the universe, God. All these things exist out there. They're just in another dimension that we as human beings can't physically see, at least not yet. I'd like to work on some research on that, and maybe one day I'll get a chance to do that. We also have a square happening between Mars and Pluto on the 19th of November. Now, Mars is going to be in Libra. Again, that's relationships of any sort, and it's also the law to some extent. I have a feeling this whole Trump thing and the thing going on in Russia and all the other mess that's going on in politics is going to come to a big head, and there's going to be some powerful stuff coming in from the courts, and people that can lay down the law, laying down the law. And let's see what transpires around the 19th of November in Washington, D.C. I've already mentioned that the sun will be going into Sagittarius. It's an exciting time when that happens. So note the 21st and then the 22nd as well, and then the 23rd is Thanksgiving. These 3 days are going to be actually good days, positive days for us to look forward to actually anticipate changes in our path, positive changes. You're going to start having positive ideas and, again, inspiration and literally signposts coming up, maybe in the form even of people suggesting things to you. It doesn't mean you've got to pick it up and take it. It might mean that this idea or inspiration stays in your mind for a few days or even a few weeks, and then it gels into something that says, wow, that makes sense to me now. Now I know where to go. So as I said, the latter part of November is when we're going to be getting these flashes of inspiration and guidance, really, as to where we're supposed to be going next, especially with regard to ourselves, valuing ourselves, and keeping things in our life, whatever that is, that truly represents who we are, our authentic selves, in other words. We have Mercury in Sagittarius all month. I always see Mercury as kind of a bit of a gadabout, and by that I mean is someone who likes to just hang out and have fun and chatting away, and maybe even a little bit of gossiping. In Sagittarius, well, you could talk too much and you could gossip too much for sure, but generally speaking, this is a friendly place to have Mercury. So I see this as potentially very friendly conversations, and maybe sharing of joyous, happy times. We have Mercury that will be conjuncting Saturn in Sagittarius, because they're both in Sagittarius, on the 28th of November. And that will occur just after they trine Uranus, which is in Aries. So what does that mean? I see it as, first of all, when we've got the trine happening, so serious piece of information. Now that could come anyway. It could come in written form, email, someone talking to you, someone phoning you up, but a serious communication of some sort. So Uranus is all about waking you up, shaking you up. And in the collective, this could just be fallout, again, from this whole political thing in Washington, D.C. But individually, this could just be, getting serious about being enlightened. And I don't think we should trivialize that either. Enlightenment is something we should all be aiming for. And if you don't know how to do that, or you don't know what that means, just do simple things like going into nature, or even if you've got a dog or a cat or an animal of any sort, hanging out with your animals is a good idea too. And it's such a simple thing to do. It's that type of thing, that type of activity can really help bring in the enlightenment into your life, as well as calmness. And certainly recent scientific research supports all this, that you're much happier, much more content and at ease when you undertake these types of activities. Can't do any of that? Do some yoga. Can't go to a yoga class? Find something online that's a yoga class. Even listening to some of those crystal bowls, and I will be doing some crystal bowl meditations myself on some videos in the future, but that's listening to very specific notes to open up parts of our chakra. So you could look into that, and you can Google that, by the way, or search for that as well and listen to it yourself. So that's crystal bowls. So here we are now, finishing up with Thanksgiving on the 23rd of November, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope it's a wonderful time. I think it will be. There may still be vestiges of some sadness around you, or maybe even a little depression, but you're going to be seeing the light on and around this 23rd of November. So Thanksgiving truly may be a very thankful time for many, many folks, especially Scorpios and the opposite sign, Taurus. You know, we've got Neptune going direct. So that's, again, around the Thanksgiving time. So this is going to be a very spiritual time with, you know, Neptune, well, any planet, especially outer planets, once they have gone retrograde and stationed to go direct, which is what this is happening with Neptune. This is a very significant time for us as a collective to come together and start doing the right thing. So start taking those spiritual, enlightened ways of dealing with ourselves individually, of valuing those around us, and that includes all our little animals too, and the stewardship of our earth. I know I've spoken about this before, but we are all stewards of this earth. It's not just up to one person, and it doesn't matter how small or how big. Whatever you can do to either make this earth better or make it better for the people on this earth, you're under obligation as a human being on this planet to be enlightened enough to actually do something. And it doesn't have to be big. You know, on the 26th of November, we've got Mercury conjuncting Saturn, which both of these planets are in Sagittarius at 25 degrees, and they'll be trining Uranus up there in Aries. So this is just an awesome time. So this is just after Thanksgiving. I would say this is going to be a time of a lot of discussion about where we're going next with regards to forming foundations. So Saturn is about foundations and building structures. And I think there just could be more enlightened talk and inspired talk about, you know, really having firm foundations that make sense to us individually, that don't negatively impact other people around us, but that there's positive impact. And I think this is going to be some kind of trend that's going to be happening. And it's also, you know, regarding speaking well to our fellow men. We're now coming into, you know, the season of giving and, you know, Christmas time. What I'm going to do in this next part of my video is to actually go through the sun signs and tell you where this new moon in Scorpio and Jupiter in Scorpio sits in. So what house, and that means what area of your life. If you do have your chart, please get it out and find out where Scorpio is, especially where this new moon is. So let's start with Aries. So for Aries, it's the 8th house. And actually the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, so it's at home here. And I would say there's opportunities to invest money. It's anything to do with, you know, saving money more to the point. But pensions, also inheritances. It may also be a time when you investigate the mysteries of life, maybe take up astrology, or delve into some really deep spiritual practices or books. These are powerful transformational energies, and a lot of it is focusing on looking within yourself, and maybe even discovering a new you. For Taurus, it's the 7th house, and this represents partnerships of all sorts. And it may also involve some fated relationship involving a foreigner. Jupiter represents foreign lands and foreign people. It also says that you may get some very good professional help if you need it. Like, say for instance, you're in need of a really good lawyer. Well, this person turns up for you, or a therapist, or anyone, offering professional services that you need. This is a great time to provide the best person. With Gemini, it's the 6th house. And this may be a time when you discover some phenomenal new ways to handle your health and exercise. Having Jupiter here, you could gain weight, so caution in that area. And your day job's going to be busy, for sure. Lots of comings and goings in your neighborhood in that area. And you may have luck coming through with your neighborhood for some reason. But there's going to be a busy time in your day-to-day life, and not in a negative way. With Cancer, it's your 5th house, and that's anything creative. So this could be anything from a new love affair, a new baby, a new project, your own new business. It may also mean that you step onto the stage and you're in the limelight. When we look at Leo, it's the 4th house, and the 4th house is the home. This is going to become a hive of activity, and it's very positive for real estate. So either getting a new home, selling a home, even renovating a home. You're looking at your home to be an oasis for transformation of yourself. Virgo, we're looking at the 3rd house, which is all about communications essentially. So this could be just really good luck at presenting, writing, maybe even a mystery novel, because that's Scorpio. Also any kind of training to bring you to a higher level. Your brothers and sisters could become very important to you and actually provide some financial benefit. Libra, it's your 2nd house. So that's money. It's also values. It's to some extent love too. Venus rules this house. And it's just an opportunity to probably make more money, essentially. And also manifest new values. Really latching on to some values that represent you, that maybe you were just, not valuing. That you were maybe using other people's values and not your own. This may be time of rediscovering these and implement them inside yourself. Scorpio, well, it's in your 1st house, and your 1st house is all about you. So this is a complete reset for you, and congratulations. A whole year of really, becoming something that you want, reaching for things that you've not maybe had an opportunity to do. And Pluto rules Scorpio, so if you're interested in transforming yourself, whether it's literally like the outside and the inside, you're going to get a ton of opportunities to do that and to come out winning and look fabulous. Sagittarius, it's your 12th house, so this is more of an inner transformation. Things like a guru could come into your life. Conversely, you could become a guru for other people. Spiritual healing, whether you seek out good spiritual healing or you provide the spiritual healing that you give to others, is all coming up at this time. With Capricorn, it's the 11th house. And this is new friends and groups that bring you a lot of great good luck and help you express your inner soul. It could be something as simple as just increased use of the internet to reach out to people that really represent more of where you're at. So this includes friends as well as groups on the internet. Aquarius, it's your 10th house of career. So this could be a really lucky time to have a new career change, something that has a lot more depth. That's what you'll be looking for. Because Scorpio is not a light, fluffy sign. It's all about let's get down to business. And then the last sign is Pisces. And for Pisces, it's your 9th house. And this house is actually ruled by Jupiter, so that's kind of extra lucky for you. And it could be that you'll take a new path in education. You could be dealing a lot more with foreigners. And it could be something even as dramatic as you moving to a whole new country. Or maybe it's the time when you decide to publish your book, or that you get a publisher that's interested in publishing your book. Well, good luck, everybody. I look forward to seeing you in December. And happy Thanksgiving once again. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time and your positive energy. I know I'm picking that up. Take care of yourself, everyone.